feel like a whale and I feel like I can't breathe. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you here with me today. Today is our 26 through 28 week pregnancy update, and let me tell you, I say this every week, but so much has changed. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Of course, I have my notes on my phone. Okay, so I know that last week I was talking about how I was getting a little more tired. That is full-blown like exhaustion, and I think it's because I'm not sleeping at all at night. I have this new schedule that has just become apparent in the last couple days, maybe a week or so, where I go to bed at like 10:30, I wake up at 2:30 or 2:45. I'm starving and I have heartburn. So I go into the guest bedroom, I have a protein bar waiting for me, I eat a protein bar, eat some Tums, and then go back to sleep. But it usually takes me a good 30 minutes to an hour to get back to sleep. And then my dogs are ready to wake up and ready to go at 7:30. So usually I'm still getting a good amount of sleep, but because I'm already tired, it doesn't feel like enough. I never wake up feeling rested, which is so new to me because whenever I was not pregnant and I was eating well, I woke up like that, didn't need like an alarm. I was just like good to go to jump up out of bed and get started. But now since I'm pregnant and there's so much going on inside of me, I am tired. So the back pain has definitely gotten worse, and the hip pain is like front and center right now. So in order to combat the back pain and hip pain, I got an exercise ball and I've been bouncing on it. I got it yesterday, but I bounced on it last night and I bounced on it some this morning, and it really is truly helping a lot. Another way that I've been like really trying to keep the pain at bay is I get a prenatal massage usually once a month. Now that I'm in my third trimester though, I definitely want to start going like once every 2 weeks because it is so helpful. I love my massage therapist. She really has just been amazing throughout this, and she's prenatal certified, so I never have to worry about like, oh, is this hurting the baby? She always does everything like to a T. She gets me in order, my pain in order, but she's always like very careful and always thinking about like the baby safety too. So another thing is, it's kind of going with the tiredness. My days are like really slow now. So like I get up and it takes me a while to get going and get my makeup on, get my hair done, get downstairs. Something that would normally take me like maybe an hour to get from like waking up to had breakfast and ready to go is taking me like an hour and a half to 2 hours, just because I just get so tired or winded. Oh my goodness gracious. That's the real pregnancy update. I feel like she is sitting in my ribs a lot of the time, and although she's not that big yet, I'm constantly winded. I can't catch my breath. I feel like I'm like when I'm talking to people on the phone or even when I'm making a video, but hopefully that will, that's not going to get any better. I was going to say hopefully that will get better. It's not going to get any better because she's just going to continue to get bigger. That's just something that I'm going to have to get used to and wait till she's out to kind of get my breath back. But like I always say, she's worth it. She's worth every single breathless walk up the stairs. So I did not know that this was like a third trimester pregnancy symptom, but my nausea is starting to come back. And it's not like the first trimester where I was nauseous like all morning. Mine is just like random bouts throughout the day. All of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. And I haven't thrown up yet, TMI, but I just get very nauseous for about 20 minutes and then it goes away. And I haven't been able to find like any kind of reason for it or any kind of like similarities of why it happens. It just kind of happens. It could happen at 10 o'clock at night, it can happen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it could happen at 9 a.m. in the morning. I mean, it just kind of happens, and it doesn't usually last very long. And like I said, I haven't actually gotten sick, but it's starting to like rear its ugly head again, and I'm like, no, please don't come back, because the first trimester for me was the hardest so far. Obviously I'm just in the beginning of my third trimester, but I just hated not feeling well. And luckily it didn't last the entire first trimester, but the time that it did last, I was ready for it to be done. This is kind of a short bump date, but I did want to kind of like talk a little bit about something that happened a couple weeks ago. I'm now 29 weeks. Today we're 29 weeks. So I think this happened at the beginning of the 26th week, I'm pretty sure. All my weeks are starting to run together now. But there was a day when I woke up and the baby was not really moving much. She was moving, but it was like super light, and she's usually pretty active in the morning, and she wasn't moving much at all. And I would have to like really sit there and pay attention to see that she was moving, or to like feel that she was moving or kicking, rather than like having it happen all the time and just knowing that she's in there and she's going crazy. Anyway, so I called my nurse because I had heard that sometimes they have slow days, but she hadn't had a slow day yet, and I was just kind of like nervous about what could be happening. And so I called the nurse line at my doctor's office and left a message. And I remember I had gone to go run some errands, and I had grabbed a Chick-fil-A salad on the way home, and I wasn't super worried about it, but I was definitely a little bit concerned. So I had just sat down, I was ready to dig into this Chick-fil-A salad, of course, and I get a call from the nurse at my doctor's office, and she was frantic. And when I say frantic, she was scaring me more than I was already like concerned. She was like talking as fast as she could and telling me like, you need to go to labor and delivery, because if your baby's in distress and we have to deliver, then you're at least in a hospital, and you can deliver in the hospital, you can't deliver in the office. Like, she's just going crazy about how I needed to go into labor and delivery, and I needed to make sure that the baby was okay, because if the baby wasn't moving as much, it means that the baby's in distress. And like, it was just really starting to scare me. So I asked her, I said, well, you know, she's still moving, she's just not moving as much. Is there any way I can come into the office and just have her heartbeat checked? And she was like, no, you need to get to labor and delivery right now. So I was supposed to go hang out with a friend of mine that afternoon, and I ended up calling her or texting her and saying, hey, I can't come right now. I've got to go to labor and delivery. I called Robbie and bawled because I was so scared, but I told him, like, stay at work because I think she's okay. They just want me to go and find out. I'll call you with any kind of update that I get. So I rushed to labor and delivery, and after having to talk to several different people who are all wondering why I'm there, I'm like, I just need to have a non-stress test, apparently, according to my nurse. And they were all super sweet, and this is the hospital that I'll deliver the baby at, and I just was so impressed by the like staff there and the nurses there, and everybody was just incredibly nice, and they like rushed me into a room real fast. I'm bawling. I can't even tell them what my name is and what my birth date is because I'm so scared because of this nurse. And they have me change into a gown. They're about to do blood work, and they're like, well, let's just put you on the monitor to see if the baby's heartbeat is there. So I'm like, okay. And the nurse is putting this on me, and as she's putting the monitor on me, she says, now just so you know, it's really hard for us to find sometimes when you're this, and then all of a sudden you hear like, dun, 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 like they found her heartbeat. And she's like, well, that's a good sign. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, whew, you know, like I can breathe now. And in my heart of hearts, I think I knew that she was fine, but it was just the way that the nurse from the doctor's office was so frantic that freaked me out. So the nurse that took care of me at the hospital said, I'm gonna go talk to the doctor on call. You sit here, relax. I'm gonna keep the monitor on so you can listen to her. And as she was leaving, she said, oh my gosh, she's moving. And I couldn't feel anything, but she said anytime it sounds like someone's blowing into a microphone, that's her moving against the monitor. And so she said, she may be turned towards your organs so you can't feel anything. She's not kicking like your actual tummy or on the outside, so that may be what's going on, but it sounds like she's moving. And she kept the whole time calling me mama. Like, she'd be like, it's okay, mama, we can do this. And that just kind of made me feel good because, you know, she was just really sweet about things. And I kept apologizing and saying, I'm so sorry I came in. I didn't really want to come in. And she just kept saying, if this were me, I've never had a child. If this were my first baby, I would be just as freaked out as you are, and I would be in here too. And she was just absolutely amazing. And I can't remember what her name is. And she asked me what the baby's name was. I told her, and she was like, that is the most beautiful name. And she was just incredibly sweet. And so she went and talked to the doctor on call, and I stayed there and like updated my parents, updated Robbie. And she came back in a couple minutes later, and she's like, good news, the doctor on call doesn't want to do an ultrasound. She's just happy we found a good heartbeat. And her heartbeat was fine. It was up in the 150s where it typically is. It kept dropping, but they think because she was like moving away from the monitor, but it would come back up, and it never dropped to like, you know, below 110 or below 100. It was always like 140, 120, and then it'd go back up to 150s, which is typically where her heart rate has stayed whenever it's checked. So she's like, they don't want to have to do an ultrasound on you because they know you're already stressed out, and they found baby's heartbeat and everything is good, so we're going to let you go home. Honestly, they never took like my insurance card or anything, so I'm honestly kind of wondering if I'm going to receive a bill from the hospital. But anyway, so I called Robbie. Robbie was calling me as I went to go pick up the phone to call him, and he's like, I'm on my way, I'm coming to you. And I was like, everything's fine, the baby's fine, they're sending me home. But honestly, I was so upset that I was sent to labor and delivery. Now, it was nice to meet all those people, and they were so incredibly sweet and just absolutely the best support in that time. And they are exactly what you would want, I think, when it comes to somebody who's taking care of you and your unborn child. The nurse from my doctor's office, the frantic one, called me, and she didn't ask how the baby was. She didn't ask how I was. She didn't ask how it went. All she did was ask me if I had gone to the hospital and asked me if the nurses and registration staff had talked to me about how to keep my medical bills down, which I thought was kind of really strange. And then it hit me. It's like, maybe she realized that she should have pulled me into the office instead of making me go all the way into labor and delivery when the baby was fine. And maybe she shouldn't have been so frantic because it wouldn't have freaked me out as much. So I had an appointment on Monday that I was really nervous to go to because I was afraid that it was going to be brought up and that I was going to be blamed for going into the hospital, and which there's no blame that should be given, but I honestly just felt so silly because obviously she was fine. Anyway, the appointment on Monday went just fine, and she's fine, and she's measuring perfectly when it comes to like fundal height and weeks. She's right on track, so everything's good. She's fine. And hopefully I won't have to go to labor and delivery again until she's actually being born, but we'll see. Okay, so before I end this video, I want to talk a little bit about how big baby is this week, or at 28 weeks. Okay, at 28 weeks, baby girl, I keep wanting to say her name, y'all. Baby girl is the size of a head of lettuce. And let's see what it talks about as far as what she's doing at that time. So your baby begins to experience REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep, which means it's very likely that she is dreaming. I wonder what she's dreaming about. I wonder if she wonders what that huge loud noise is, the dog's barking, all the time, because Shiner is constantly near me. Again, he's sitting right outside of baby gate right now watching. But I wonder if she like is scared of that or wonders what that is. You know, she's gonna grow up with dogs her entire life, I can guarantee that. So she can get used to it now, I guess. Baby can blink. So far, your baby's eyes have been shut tight. Now she can open and close her eyes completely with brand new fluttering eyelashes. So sweet. Making faces. Fetuses often stick out their tongues at this age. No one is sure exactly why, but it's possible your baby is tasting your amniotic fluid. And it talks a little bit about hiccups, which I will say that she gets the hiccups. And I didn't realize that's what that was until I was sitting there one day and it was like thump, 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 maybe a little slower than that. But I was like, man, she's got some rhythm. And then I realized, hello, she has the hiccups. That's not her like jamming out in there and keeping a beat. So she does get the hiccups a lot. But, oh, let me tell you how big she is. At the beginning of 28 weeks, she is 15 inches long, 2.25 pounds, and it says I have 12 weeks to go. Honestly, I'd be pretty okay if she decided to come anytime after 36, 37 weeks, even if that means she comes early, but as of right now, I've got 12 weeks to go. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. Thank you so much for keeping up with baby Sarvis and I, and just kind of like supporting us. I love y'all's comments. You always like everything. So if you're new here, please subscribe, join our family. But until next time, I want to say thank you so much for watching. We love you all, and God bless you.